What up, gamers? Eagle here, and honestly, this video has been on my to-do list for a long time, and I am finally getting around to it because it's honestly taken a bunch of bravery to put this out there. And disclaimer, a lot of you will not care about this video at all, but I know there is a niche of my audience that will absolutely love this. I am going through my entire MyAnimeList, telling you guys my favorite shows, what I've watched, and my goodness, we're gonna get right into it. And this is my profile. I have watched a total of 107 days worth of anime. I'm currently watching 2, completed 211. I have 1 on hold, drop date, plan to watch 56, total entries 278. My mean score is 7.92. My goodness, this is absolutely crazy to be going through this. I'm not going to talk too much about what I got going on the bottom half. Actually, we're gonna flow it. This is an Eagle Unlimited video, of course, because the possibilities are unlimited. You know, without further ado, let's jump into what I have watched. I'll take you through what I like. All right, we're going to be going through my completed list first. I have it sorted so the lowest score starts off. My first 2 entries are Neon Genesis Evangelion. I watched it a while ago, and it's an absolute classic. I didn't really get it, but I want to revisit it because I know it's a lot of people's favorite show. It's very, very abstract, and you know, I need to rewatch. It's on my rewatch list. I think I had it listed maybe like a 7 out of 10, but I need to come back to it. Dan Da Dan, which is a show that recently aired not too long ago. Great show, probably one of my top 3 shows of last year, 2024. I just haven't rated it yet because season 2 is not out yet, but I am looking forward to season 2. Kara no Kyokai, the whole movie series is very good. It's, if you're into the Fate series, it's kind of in the same universe. I definitely recommend it. Fate Stay Night. I love the Fate series, but the Fate Stay Night Studio Dean adaptation, in all honesty, was pretty terrible. I've watched it, so it's not terrible, but I gave it a 6 out of 10, which 6 out of 10 compared to a lot of the other stuff that I've watched isn't all that great. So Byosoku 5 centimeters. So this is like 5 centimeters per second. I don't really remember it. Just a movie. It was meh. I can't really talk too much about it. Tokiwo Kakeru Shoujo, which is the girl who leapt through time. It had better reviews than what I gave it. Felt like a little bit weird. Can't say I recommend it. Kara no Kyokai, another one with 6. You know, most of the movies were a little bit average for me, but there were a few that kind of topped the list. I'm not doing a very good job describing Kara no Kyokai, but it's, gosh, how do I even describe that? It's too hard to describe Kara no Kyokai. Sword Art Online. It's when I first started watching anime. I liked it. It started off good, but then it just got bad. So I gave it a 6 out of 10 because, you know, it was captivating the first couple episodes, but in all honesty, meh. Kimi no Suizo wa Tabatai. I don't even know. What is this? Oh gosh. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. Okay, yeah, this was actually a very popular movie that was pretty critically acclaimed, and I think on Mal it was like 8.6, 8.7. It just did not hit with me. We watched it over at our friend's house, and it just was really weird. I felt like the plot was like very condensed, wasn't what I was looking for, and it didn't feel like a good movie. I gave it a 6, but honestly, thinking back on it, was more of a 5. You know, maybe that's a hot take, but I didn't really enjoy it. Kimitachi wa do ikuru ka. For some reason, Mal doesn't give you the English name, but this was The Boy and the Heron. This was the latest of the Hayao Miyazaki Studio Ghibli films, and I thought it was pretty mid. I didn't get the deeper meanings of it. It kind of felt like ChatGPT created a Studio Ghibli movie, which was, it was all right. It was all right. It was good to go see it in theaters, but I'm already realizing that this is going to be a long video, and I don't care that if you don't like anime, just click off right now, because this is for the weebs. This is for the weebs out there. I know you guys are totally out there because I get a lot of messages from you, and we're vibing. This video is for us to vibe. Forget the haters. This is our time. All right, I'm gonna spare me trying to pronounce it, but this is How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. The third season. I thought the third season was kind of bad, or it was okay. It was definitely weird. It also goes by a name called Danmachi. It's such a weird show because I do like it. It's kind of a guilty pleasure, in all honesty. I'm currently watching season 5, and it's just one of those shows that you know is not super good, but you just always want to come back to it, and you'll see all the Danmachis on this list. Komi-san Can't Communicate. I thought this was pretty generic classroom romance. It's kind of had a little bit of a funny quirk. I think there's only one season out. I'd probably watch it again if season 2, there might be 2 seasons even, I'm not sure, but it was pretty mediocre for me. There's another show on this list that reminded me somewhat of it, but I thought it was a lot better. Dr. Stone, a TV special. Dr. Stone in general it feels like a cartoon. I know a lot of people like Dr. Stone, but it just never truly hit with me. The other Dr. Stones, the newer season, are on my watch list, but meh. Licorice Recoil had a good OP, but it just didn't have any meat to it. Like, it was more or less, there was some cool action scenes. It's basically about two girl secret agents that fight bad guys. It was pretty mediocre. Tensei Ojo to Tensei Reijo no Maho Kakume. What's this? I don't remember this. Oh, okay. The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. So that's a Yuri anime, and there's a lot of Yuri animes on this list. Pretty mid, 6 out of 10. Sasakyu Yoni Kyo Uta. I just recently watched this one. Yeah. Whisper Me a Love Song. Not the best, but not terrible either. Just kind of like a guilty pleasure to watch, in all honesty. Eureka 7 out of 10. That's a very, very good mecha show. I think I give it a 7. It kind of drags out, but I know people really like this one. Gosh, it's been a long time since I've watched this. I think I watched it in like 2015. But it's cool. It's a cool show. Really good openings, good endings on that. Bleach. So Bleach at large, I really like it. I love the art style, love the characters. The Bleach as a whole has some very high points for me, but it's also it's a slog fest too. There's some arcs that are just complete filler arcs that I skipped. I think, yeah, there was one point of one of the arcs, I believe it was the Espadas. Gosh, I can't really remember, but it was like this crazy battle, but it didn't really mean anything. So if you were to watch all the good parts of Bleach and skipped all the other spots, then it'd probably be like an 8 or 9. The new Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, is really, really good. They kicked it up with animation, and I know the creator, Tite Kubo, he's actually like changed it versus what he originally put in the manga. So that's it's been super good, and I've really enjoyed watching the revamped Bleach. Dragon Ball Z, same kind of thing as Bleach. Honestly, I would say that Dragon Ball, obviously one of, if not the most iconic shows of all time. Just watching now, it's just so drawn out. I love the characters. I prefer, you'll see it further in this list, Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. But obviously, big fan of Dragon Ball Z and the whole Dragon Ball universe. Gurren Lagann. I need to rewatch this because it's very critically acclaimed. and it just over the top. It's mecha. It's awesome. I remember it being a fun watch, and this is perhaps one that I revisit. Clannad, kind of a slice of life show. The original Clannad was very slow. It took a long time. It's been a while, so I don't truly remember the plot, but basically you watch Clannad to set yourself up for Clannad After Story. If any people are watching that aren't in anime, they're probably just like, what are you talking about? All right, here are the rest of the Kara no Kyokais. Generally speaking, there were a lot of sevens. It was actually kind of like a show with a lot of moving parts, so it's the kind of show that you probably want to watch again, or the movie series. And most of them were pretty solid. They're made by UFO Table or UFO Table, which makes the Fate series and better known Demon Slayer, and the animation's absolutely incredible. And that's initially what drew me to these movies. There's some pretty good fight scenes, but overall it's like, I guess I would recommend it. It's pretty solid. Angel Beats, I just really like Angel Beats for the opening. It's been a long time since I've watched it, and gosh, I honestly don't even remember the plot. They're in some like purgatory state where they're in between heaven and hell or something like that. But I remember it being solid. Fairy Tail, I used to really like Fairy Tail, but it got really bad. I finished it by reading the manga, and it was just like, I like the characters, but it's too generic sometimes. I tried to rewatch it and like watch some of the newer Fairy Tail, and it's kind of a slog. It's a slog to get through. Madoka Magica, another one. It's like, it's got good ratings. It's like cute magical girls, but it actually has a pretty dark twist to it. I need to actually rewatch that. I remember it being good. There's some really dark themes in it, but maybe that's one I'll come back to. I can't really speak too much on the plot because I honestly don't really remember. Mirai Nikki, this is Future Diary. This basically, this kid who has this crazy stalker girl. It's not bad. It's okay. It was an okay watch when I first started watching anime, but now it's like something I probably wouldn't go back to. No Game, No Life. Really good animation on this one. Haven't got a second season. This is actually one in the anime community that it was basically forgotten about. Everyone wants a second season. It's a cool isekai type show that I would watch again if season 2 came out. Noragami, not all that great, to be honest. I think the first season was actually pretty good, but I actually dropped the second season. Nothing too interesting for me. JoJo Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders. Dare I say, like, I know Stardust Crusaders is actually probably some of the most iconic JoJo, but it felt so repetitive. It was just like the boys going on a road trip and having the villain of the week narrative each and every episode, and it was a little slow. It had a good ending, but more Fairy Tail, don't need to talk about it. Danmachi, gosh, I think that was the original one. Fun show to watch. One Punch Man, second season, kind of took a dive after season 1. One Punch Man season 1 was incredible animation, and actually got a lot of people watching anime who were kind of on the outskirts of the show, because it was just this fun concept, this completely overpowered dude who would just obliterate any enemy in one punch, hence the name. And season 2 is still good. The manga is incredible. I haven't read it, but Britanna has actually read the manga, and it's actually some of the best panels from a art standpoint in the whole anime manga realm at large. So it's really good. I think they're working on season 3, so it'll be exciting when that comes out. Netju no Susume Special. What's this? Recovery of an MMO Junkie. So just a kind of like a fun little isekai. It's a little romance between two people who meet in an MMO and then miraculously meet in real life. It's a fun little show to watch. I enjoyed it. More Danmachi season 2. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Gosh, I actually hope my dad doesn't watch this video. That was like a romance. It was like you get the wrong idea when you look at this image, but it's actually kind of like a wholesome romance Yeah, there's a movie to it that I plan to watch. Dr. Stone 7. It was pretty captivating at the start, but it kind of lost me. Maybe I'll get back into it. Zero Maidens in Your Savage season. Gosh, I don't even remember that. I just remember this is kind of a little bit wild. You know, I'm not going to be embarrassed, but there's some shows in here that you don't necessarily feel like sharing with an audience, but I'm doing it for you guys. I'm being vulnerable. Kami no To, so that's Tower of God. Ratana read this. This is actually a webtoon. I think it's a manhwa, actually, which manhwa means it's like the Korean version of manga. And I hear it's webtoon. I don't know. Is it manhwa? I think it is manhwa. Yeah, it came from Korea. I liked this, but I heard that they cut so much out of the source material, and it's absolutely crazy what goes on. But they did this weird like splicing together. They left a lot out, and it just kind of ruined the show for a lot of people. Ratana kind of said that as well, so I trust her. So I kind of lost interest. Jujutsu Kaisen. So this is one of the big ones. This is season 1, mind you, and I thought season 1, like, good animation, but I thought it was just a little too overhyped, in all honesty. It didn't really catch me, but as the show goes on, I get more and more interest. But season 1, as popular as it wasn't my favorite. More Dr. Stone, not gonna talk about it. God of High School, that's another webtoon / manhwa that I actually liked it. I don't think they're bringing back a season 2. They're not adapting any more of the source material, but you know, it was good. That's another show that Ratana really likes reading. So I'm not much of a manga guy. Like, I will read manga. I'll talk a little bit about my manga at the end of this list, but in general, like, I definitely prefer anime. My Hero Academia season 5. Season 5 was the worst season. I am generally a pretty big My Hero fan. There's some incredible moments in the show. It's kind of tacky here and there. It's kind of like, it almost feels like a cartoon, but you know, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of My Hero in general. Probably a show that I would recommend to somebody who's looking to get into anime. Vivi Fluorite Eye Song. So this is a pretty good show. Good soundtrack. It's about this evolved AI that saves the world through her music. So it was actually a really good show. You know, 7's kind of low. It's probably pushing more closer to 8. More Don Manchi. Oh my gosh. Birdie Wing. This one's hilarious. This is, I've watched a few golf anime, and this is one, and it's just absolutely over the top. Completely unrealistic. It's like these two golf girl rivals who are unbelievably good at golf. The one girl plays like golf for the mafia. It's like absolutely crazy. It's completely over the top, but it's a fun show to watch. What's this one? Oh, Call of the Night. This one was it's cool. It's a good vibe. Just kind of like a romance in general, but really cool atmosphere. I read a little bit of the manga, and you know, there's some weird things about the show, but in general, it's not bad. Mushoku Tensei, I think it was one OVA or something, but yeah, it was solid. I love Mushoku Tensei. It's kind of controversial show. The first season, absolutely incredible. Really good world building, and in all honesty, like, it's probably, whenever a new season comes out, it's probably like at the top of my list of shows to watch. More Komi-san, Can't Communicate. Talked a little bit about that. Kind of just meh. Mashal. Ratana really likes Mashal. I thought it was an okay kind of like turn your brain off show. It's basically anime Harry Potter with a bunch of like comedy. It's like anime Harry Potter with elements of One Punch Man tacked onto it. So it's okay. Birdie Wing, season 2. JoJo Part 3, Stone Ocean. So this was the most recent JoJo. It was actually the ending of JoJo, which a lot of people were really happy with, and I could see how they ended it, but it wasn't my favorite ending, but it was all right. Zom 100, just a zombie apocalypse show. You can read the synopsis there. It started off strong, but got generally worse as the show went on. Horimiya is kind of just a vanilla anime romance that, I don't know. I like turning my brain off and watching some romance anime, as you guys can already tell. Here's another one. This was actually one that aired this year, A Sign of Affection. This one was all right. It was not great. It was about this guy who looked like a Gojo ripoff from Jujutsu Kaisen, and he was interested in this deaf girl, which, you know, there was some okay moments of the show. Rising Impact, another golf anime, and this one's another one completely crazy. It's about this young guy named Gawain who lives in the middle of nowhere, and he just starts swinging golf clubs, and he's like an 8-year-old, like 8 or 9-year-old, and he's like competing against some of the best golfers who are 15, 16-year-olds. Like completely unrealistic, but it's hilarious to watch. I enjoyed it. We were actually watching it at USDGC. We had a day off and we put one episode on Netflix and just completely got immersed in it and kind of binged it. What's this one? All right, this one, Too Many Losing Heroines, another romance anime, which basically you have the protagonist who is more or less a hopeless romantic, and he kind of befriends a bunch of these girls who keep getting turned down, and it's a lot of people liked it. I was like a little frustrated by the show, but it was an okay watch. Rising Impact season 2. All right, now we're getting into the realm of 8s, which 8s are all really solid, and I could recommend it. And there's some more nuance to it. Cowboy Bebop, absolute classic. Yeah, I would honestly put it right at this score. It's a little bit too low to just be at 8. Classic anime, great soundtrack, just a vibe. You have these different stories each episode that tie together into the entire series, and the characters are great, and it's just a vibe. If you haven't watched Cowboy Bebop, then that's a show that I would recommend to anybody, just because it's just cool. Naruto, actually, before I talk about Naruto, Samurai Champloo, it's made by the same creator as Cowboy Bebop. And what's Samurai Champloo rated? 8.5. I would go to say it's almost the same show as Cowboy Bebop, but just in a more, it takes place in the Edo period of Japan, and it's just these cool characters who are all kind of outcasts, and they band together and create this like weird friendship that you wouldn't really say that they're friends, but at the end, like, they all, you can tell, care for each other, and they're just different. There's different vibes on each episode, and it just ties together. And one of the best endings in anime, not like ending of the show, but not the opening of the show, but the ED, which is the ending song, is so good. Naruto is the first anime other than Pokemon that I really got into. I remember watching it really young and just seeing some characters like Gaara, and I was actually like scared because there was some pretty crazy intensity in the show. And I came back to it. The good moments of Naruto, like, gosh, what's the first arc? The one with Zabuza. It's like the village hidden in the mist, and then the Chunin exams. For me, I think that was some of the best Naruto. Then it got just drawn out, too much filler. I mean, you love the characters. It's a great show. Great show that definitely gave me a lot of motivation in life, as well as a lot of enjoyment. Dragon Ball. So the OG Dragon Ball, I gave it 8. Just really fun show. It's actually hilarious. Like, young Goku is great. It was better world building than Dragon Ball Z. There was a ton more characters, and it actually didn't feel like Krillin and Yamcha and everybody was absolutely useless, because it kind of gave him a little bit more background, and you saw how they established their character. So I actually liked Dragon Ball a little bit more than Dragon Ball Z. Hajime no Ippo. So this is a boxing anime. Really solid. Just, it's an older show, so you gotta be used to that look. But I watched this probably a year or two ago, and pretty basic. It's about a guy who gets into boxing, who just climbs up the ranks, and he overcomes adversity. Typical shonen style show, but really solid. I'm probably gonna watch the other seasons. I think they just added them to Netflix, so I'm excited for that. Yu Yu Hakusho. This is incredible. Great show. The Dark Tournament arc, Chapter Black, there's some really solid moments. It kind of ends not so great, but Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is made by the same creator of Hunter x Hunter, Yoshiro Togashi, I believe that's his name. I don't hope I'm not butchering that. Honestly, like incredible show, absolutely incredible show. I love the characters. I love Yoshiro Togashi's writing style, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I would probably put it at like a strong 8, borderline 9. Nana. So this is a great show. It kind of ended prematurely, but it's just this gritty romance style anime. It honestly feels like more of a soap opera, in all honesty, but just in anime format. It's about these two girls named Nana, who one's kind of crazy and the one girl is like super badass and plays for a band, and then just kind of like the behind the scenes of what it's like to be in the world of rock and roll. And I know Ratan's probably gonna get mad for saying this, but she's trying to cultivate her style after Nana right now. But yeah, Nana's a badass, so why wouldn't you? Code Geass. I really can't speak on this one too much. I watched it a long time ago, but I remember being really good. One of the best mecha animes of all time. And this is one that I need to rewatch because I remember it has a pretty iconic ending. Naruto Shippuden. Talked a little bit about Naruto. Same goes for Shippuden. Drawn out a little bit. Kind of a weird ending, but just great moments. Absolutely incredible moments that shaped me as a human. In all honesty, it's crazy that is to say. Paprika, really cool movie that I watched on the plane. It was on it actually like international flight, and it was super good. It's kind of the best way I can describe it without taking too long is it's like anime Inception, and incredible soundtrack. One of my favorite Japanese producers, Susumu Hirasawa, he did the score on the whole movie, and really good, really good. More Code Geass. Clannad After Story, I mentioned it earlier. You watch Clannad, so you can watch Clannad After Story. I cried my eyes out. Very sad. A lot of emotion in this show. It's actually one of the highest rated shows on MAL. See, ranked number 16. Incredible show. Really good. Toradora, pretty solid as well. Another romance, probably one of the better romance shows. It's about this kind of, what's his name? Takasu. He kind of falls for this tsundere type character, and it's a fun, wholesome little show. I like it. Kara no Kyokai Mujin Rasen. This is the best Kara no Kyokai. This was kind of like a crazy movie, in all honesty. Really good. Best of the Kara no Kyokai. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. This is arguably the greatest show of all time. The way I see it is that it's the most complete. It's the show with the least amount of plot holes, and it's a dang good show. I give it an 8, but I probably honestly could round it up to about a 9. Really enjoyable. 64 episodes, so you're gonna enjoy yourself for a long time. And yeah, I have nothing bad to say about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and honestly, I want to watch it again. So what's this one? I think this one's Anohana. Anohana, yeah, this is an older show. It's how do they describe this? It's more of it's a drama, like supernatural show. If you want to read the synopsis, you can read it, but I remember it being pretty solid. Definitely a bit of a tearjerker, if I remember correctly. Steins Gate movie. I'll just talk about Steins Gate. Steins Gate's one of my favorite shows. It's an incredible time travel anime that thinks about time travel in a very unique way, and I really want to watch it again because I have said many times that it's one of my favorite shows of all time. I actually have a dyed Steins Gate disc somewhere in storage that was really cool. I highly recommend it. Just the whole Steins Gate. They did Steins Gate. They did the movies, which were good. They did actually Steins Gate Zero, which is kind of like a spin-off, and it makes total sense if you know what Steins Gate is with the whole world building and the different timelines that take place. So it was actually really cool to see Steins Gate Zero. Very, very good show, and probably one of my number one recommendations if you have not seen it. Magi, The Labyrinth of Magic. I remember this show being really cool. It never got fully adapted. I think there was 2 seasons, just a shonen, but like a really cool spin. If you guys want to read the synopsis, but I remember it being solid. It's like Middle Eastern vibe shonen that I really liked. The original JoJo, I really liked the original JoJo when they were using Hamon rather than stands. It was really solid. I remember watching it first time and then being like, all right, my JoJo Bizarre Adventure has started, and JoJo's a great show. It's a total experience, and I recommend it. Hatarako Mao-sama. So this is what's the name? The Devil is a Part-Timer. Just a fun show that I recommend. I would say they did a season 2 that I didn't watch. I hear it was really bad. It's about the devil if he is isekai'd into a world and he has to work at a fast food restaurant. So really fun show. Golden Time. This is actually made by the same person who created Toradora, and it's kind of a weird romance, but it's just one of those shows that there's a lot of plot holes, but I enjoyed it. More Magi, really good. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. We're getting into the good Fate territory. Fate's absolutely incredible. Some of the best animation in all of anime. The Fate series, oh my gosh, it's so hard to say which order to watch, and the few people who know what I'm talking about I'll revisit once I get to where I think you should start watching Fate. Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso, Your Lie in April. It's been a long time since I watched this show, but the music aspect's really cool, really good soundtrack. Gosh, I think I remember something really sad happening this. It's a good show. Colorful. Gosh, this is one I probably should watch again. It's been a long time. I forget if I read the synopsis, I'd probably remember, but I remember it being good. You're not getting crazy in-depth analyses by Eagle here, but you're getting a general aspect of what I like. Stardust Crusaders. What's this? I thought I talked about it. God, Stardust Crusaders was part 3 was just so long. I think this was 8. It was weird. I thought I had already reviewed it, but yeah. JoJo is JoJo. Food Wars. I really like this. It's another show where you kind of turn your brain off and you just go along for the ride. And I should put a disclaimer that if you're a kid watching this, you should probably, if you're a parent and you watch anime with your kids, this is a show where, maybe it's not the best idea to watch with young ones. I'd say you want to at least be 14 or 15 before watching this show. And, this show definitely makes some people uncomfortable, but it's hilarious. Hence the name, Food Wars. It's basically like anime version of MasterChef, so to speak. I enjoy Food Wars. One Punch Man, the original season, really good. Steins Gate, talked about it, it's really good. Steins Gate Zero. Konosuba. I watched Konosuba last year, and shout out Disc Inks on Instagram. He did a Konosuba dye of Megumin. Super fun show. I really enjoyed it. The best way to describe this show is the anime version of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with an isekai twist. Hilarious. Probably, honestly, it might be one of my favorite comedy anime. Absolutely hysterical. I totally enjoyed this show. Thoroughly. Through and through. Erased. Another time travel based anime. Don't really remember the plot, but I remember it was pretty solid. A lot of these shows, it's been so long since I've watched them, and in all honesty, like if I'm watching a subbed versus dub, sometimes that information doesn't get completely retained in my brain. JoJo, what is it? Diamond is Unbreakable. This one was really good. It was one of my favorite JoJo arcs. Part 4, you got Yosuke, and I liked his vibe. More My Hero, really good. Mob Psycho 100. This is a show that I'd recommend anybody. It's the same creator as One Punch Man, at least I'm pretty sure it is, and just a wild show. but really, I'd say it's borderline family friendly. It has an ending, so you could go watch now, binge it, and be completely satisfied. Mob Psycho is another show that I'd recommend to anybody. Really cool, amazing art, amazing animation, and it's an incredible show. I put that in my top 15 shows. I have it as an 8 here, but it's higher. It's higher than 8. I think I should re-rate that. More Food Wars, Psyche K, another comedy. This one's like another show that if you're looking for some laughs, highly recommend it. It's about this kid who has psychic powers, and it's kind of like a One Punch Man. He's surrounded by all these crazy people that don't know about his ability, but he is completely overpowered, and he just wants to be the most mediocre person possible, but he's the most exceptional person possible. It creates a fun dynamic. I really enjoyed the show. I binged it when I watched it. Citrus, that's another Yuri anime. It's controversial. It's kind of a wild show. Recreators, this is a really fun show. It's a reverse isekai. It targets a bunch of typical anime tropes, whether it be magical girl or this detective mecha and whatnot, and just a really cool dynamic because a lot of it's about the manga creator meeting their creation, their character, their protagonist, and the protagonist of each and every story is like, why did you create this crazy world for me? Highly recommend Recreators. All right, this is beginning to be a very long video. More Psyche K. This is Land of the Lustrous. This is a really cool show. This is very abstract. Really recommend it. Very unique. It's about these anthropomorphic beings who represent these different gemstones. They're trying to fight against what's called as Lunarians, a species who attacks them in order to shatter their bodies and use them as decorations. It sounds crazy, but like the art is really cool. It's a total vibe, and I've honestly thought about reading the manga because we haven't gotten to season 2. More Food Wars, Netju no Susume. What's this one? Recovering MMO Junkie. Really, I talked a little bit about that. Cute little romance. I liked it. Cute little romance. Shokugeki no Soma san no. Okay, that's More Food Wars. Violet Evergarden, absolutely incredible show. I watched it originally and I didn't really like it to start. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I came back to it and just incredible. I'll talk a little bit more about it because it's one of my favorite shows, I would say now. Yagete Kimi ni Naru, so that's Bloom Into You. That's another Yuri anime, another romance. JoJo Part 5. This is one with Giorno Giovanna. Yeah, this one was really solid. I really like that version of JoJo. More Konosuba. Fruits Basket. Incredible show. One of my favorites. It's basically like another soap opera, but absolutely incredible show that explores like a pretty cool concept of these people who are in the Chinese zodiac, and they like, if somebody non-zodiac touches them, then they turn into an animal. It sounds really weird, but it's like it's one of the best dramas in all of anime. Violet Evergarden. This is the Violet Evergarden movie. More Food Wars. Kaguya-sama. Kind of like a funny little romance that's pretty solid. Nomad Megalobox. Another boxing anime that has some grit. It has a cool vibe to it. Honestly, it feels like it could be a 90s anime, but it's on the newer side. When was this one premiered? Spring 2021. I like the original as well as Megalobox 2. Osama Ranking of Kings. Really good show about this little guy named Boji who can't talk. He's mute, but he's this complete boss. Season 2 came out and it wasn't very good, but season 1 on the other hand was incredible. Very unique art style as well. More Food Wars. Oh, this is a great show and I can't wait for more. To Your Eternity. Probably one of the best opening episodes in anime. Kind of gets drawn out. It's like turns into a little bit of a shonen, but it's basically about this orb that it turns into these immortal type avatars that he goes through time and he makes these connections, but due to old age or certain circumstances, they die off and he loses a part of himself. And it's kind of a tearjerker of a show, like really good show to watch. I really enjoy it. More Hori Mia, talked a little bit about that already. So this is one of my favorite shows, Link Click, but this is actually a Chinese show and it is so good. I talk about Steins Gate, and this is another time travel anime, probably the second best time travel anime that I've ever watched. It's kind of complex to describe, but highly recommend. One of my favorites. Season 3 is actually airing as we speak. Chainsaw Man, gritty shonen, kind of gory, basically like a version of Bleach. Hoping for season 2. It's like an edgier version of Bleach, but pretty solid, pretty solid, really good animation. This one is Hell's Paradise, really good shonen. I'm waiting for more good animation. This was very captivating to me. Basically, these criminals are sent off to this island as fodder for this government entity to explore the island. I'm really looking for more. Summertime Render. This one was solid. It's pretty good. Not gonna speak too much on this one. It's weird. There's some like 7s and there's some like 8s that I feel like could be intertwined. Like I look back at Summertime Render and I don't think it's as good as I rated it. It probably is more of around a 7. Bocchi the Rock, cool anime for somebody who is kind of a shut-in or super shy, who's looking to break themselves out of their shell. This one's based around music. Pretty good show. I enjoyed it. So this one is The Eminence in Shadow. This one's a wild show. Another isekai, and it's almost like a satire, kind of like a One Punch Man style show. Really good world building. It makes you think like you actually want the show without the super overpowered main character, but it works. Jujutsu Kaisen movie. This one was good. This was actually what really started getting me more and more interested in Jujutsu Kaisen. Stone Ocean, more JoJo, super solid, generally speaking. My Dress Up Darling. This was a fun little romance. Basically, it was about a guy who liked dressing up dolls. This one girl who was really into cosplaying, and he ended up making costumes for her. I'm hoping for season 2. It was good. Fruits Basket, amazing. More Link Click, amazing. More Konosuba, more To Your Eternity. My Hero, one of my favorite shows. This is not giving like a good explanation. We're getting to the 9s and 10s. We're gonna blow through this. Spy X Family, cute, wholesome show. You have Lloyd is this super secret agent, who's an assassin. They don't know each other's profession, but Anya, the child, is a mind reader. So, but is like conforming to this arranged family that is taking place. That's a fun one that I recommend. I've recommended to the family. One Piece, Film Red. We're gonna talk about One Piece at the end. Spy Family. What was this one? I don't really remember. Insomniac After School. Wholesome romance about 2 people who can't sleep. More Jujutsu Kaisen. Demon Slayer. I think Demon Slayer is a little bit overrated, but there's some good moments in the show. There is some incredible animation, and that's enough to captivate me. I like Demon Slayer. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like a super fan of Demon Slayer by any means, but it's good. It's good. Attack on Titan, the final season. I'll just talk about Attack on Titan at large. This is one of the best shows of all time. Incredible. I need to rewatch it again because you could rewatch it 5 times and pick up on little things that you didn't see before. It's such a good show. The ending was not as good as I wanted it to be, but that doesn't take me away from the magnificence of the rest of the show. I think this is a show that people will look back on in 20, 30 years, and it'll be esteemed as one of the greatest creations exceeding anime of all time. I'd put it, it's a top 5 show for me. Incredible. More Kaguya-sama. Oh, okay, when I said like Komi-san can't communicate, this is a better version of that. It's about this shut-in kid, kind of like an incel, kind of messed up, honestly, but he finds his love and he changes himself for the better, and just a match made in heaven. I recommend it. Kaiju number 8. This is a recent show, and I'm a fan. It takes tropes from Attack on Titan and kind of wraps it into your more basic shonen style show, but let me show you. I'm finding my balance. I did a little doodle of Kaiju number 8 on this here balance. So I guess you could say I'm a fan. Dungeon Meshi, this is a newer show. Really great world building, fantasy style anime. Basically, it's this crew of adventurers going through a dungeon trying to save the protagonist's sister. But along the way, it's much more complex than that, but that's just the general outline for season 1. They don't have money, so they start eating monsters. But the attention to detail on the show is some of the best I've seen. Watching it, it's actually going to make you pretty hungry. And towards the end of the season, it actually gets pretty intense. I know I'm excited for season 2. Free Ren, Beyond Journey's End. This one is ranked as the number 1 show, and I can see why. This is like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. No plot holes. It's a tearjerker. It's the full package. I recommend this show. I gave it an 8, but I'd probably put it to like 8.9. You can't really say anything bad about this show. This show will make you feel things that bring some tears to your eyes. It'll also make you captivated with the action, and it's just really good world building, really good characters. Phenomenal. Danmachi, How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. This was the 4th season, which actually the best season, was actually really good. I gave it an 8, so that was the best season. Watashi no Oshi wa, what's this? I'm in love with the villainess. This is a wild kind of isekai Yuri show. I don't remember if it's isekai or not, but good romance there. Spy X Family. I talked about Bleach. This is 1,000-Year Blood War, the modern version of Bleach, and animation's top-notch, really good. Apothecary Diaries. This is a very cool show. A lot of attention to detail. Another soap opera type drama show. Really cool, really fun show because Mao Mao, the lead character, is like a genius when it comes to herbs and spices. Shout out to our acupuncturist. She really likes the show. So that tells you that there's some like pretty intricate storylines. That's kind of like a murder mystery. It's like a detective style show. I really like it. We're in the, I need to stop saying I really like it because we're in the 8s and 9s now, and more Eminence in Shadow 2nd season. It wasn't as good as the first, but still good. What's this one? The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. Okay, this is a wild show. Some people probably be offended by the show, but it's a harem anime. It's a romance, and I would say that it's a funny show to watch. Let's just say that. Not condoning the content of the show per se, but it was fun to watch. More My Hero, absolutely great. More Demon Slayer, great. Mushoku Tensei, great show. One Piece, we're gonna get to One Piece. All right, now we're in the 9s. We're on the home stretch, and we're going to rip through these. These are my favorite shows of all time, starting with Berserk. This is the first adaptation of Berserk, and unfortunately, Berserk has never gotten a truly good anime adaptation. I would say this is the best anime adaptation, and it's really solid. It hooked me, and it got me reading the manga, and the manga is one of the best manga of all time in terms of story development, in terms of characters, in terms of just aggression. It's the full package, and very gory, not for the faint of heart, but this 1997 to 1998 adaptation, really solid. They leave out maybe a few things out of the source material, but Guts is the best character in anime, I would say. He's my overall favorite character. He's the most complex. He has the tropes of your typical shonen protagonist, but it goes so much deeper. Yeah, Berserk. It's incredible. Rest in peace, Kentaro Miura. He's the manga artist who created Berserk, and he died prematurely, which is very sad. But his good friend's actually taking over where he left off in Berserk, and hopefully we'll get more content, because I would love to see this story get finished out. Mononoke Hime, this is Studio Ghibli. Incredible movie, a total vibe, just some incredible artwork. Almost all Studio Ghibli movies are just incredible, especially Mononoke Hime, Princess Mononoke. And if you haven't seen this one, put it on your list. Howl's Moving Castle. This is Ratana's favorite movie of all time. Right up there with Princess Mononoke. This is more of a romance, but incredible shots in this one. Great artwork, incredible music. I'm going to basically just count all Studio Ghibli movies as one. Interstellar 5555, the story of the secret star system. This is Daft Punk. Daft Punk did an anime of the album Discovery. This film is the visual realization of Discovery, an album by Daft Punk. It tells the story of a band of 4 extraterrestrial musicians who are kidnapped and brought back to Earth by an evil manager. Their only hopes lie with a space pilot from their home planet, who, after receiving a distress call broadcast during the abduction, seeks out to rescue them. If you like Daft Punk, if you like EDM, watch this. This is incredible. 9 out of 10, maybe higher. I watched this last year, and I thought it was some shoujo anime that looked really girly and not necessarily my cup of tea. But don't judge an anime by its cover, because this show is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. Orin High School Host Club. This is a great show. This is one of my favorite shows of all time. Unbelievable. Fate Zero. Okay, I talk a little bit about the way to watch Fate. I think you should start with Fate Zero and then go on to Fate Unlimited Blade Works, Fate Stay Night, and then Fate Heaven's Field. It's always controversial because technically Fate Zero is a prequel, and some people say that you shouldn't watch prequels before actually watching the original material. Say Fate Stay Night came out before Fate Zero, but it's a great place to start. UFO table production and incredible storyline. Gosh, I'm not even gonna talk about it. Just take my word for it. Watch it if you have not. Watch the whole Fate series. You won't. There's some weird stuff in the Fate series, but if you stick to the general like Fate Zero universe, then you're gonna be very impressed, because it's some of my favorite. I want to rewatch it. Hunter x Hunter. Other than the big one, One Piece, my favorite shonen of all time. I'm always checking back to see if there's going to be another season announced. I tried to get into the manga. The only problem I have with this show is that Togashi, the creator of this show, has bit off way more than he could really chew. He goes through a lot of health problems, and I hope that he gets better and able to continue his masterpiece. But it's just a very ambitious show, and there's the world building, the characters, some of the best in anime, but there's just when you get to the end of it, it's like we're just getting started. And the idea that he's going to continue to create this ambitious show, I think I'll probably be in like my 60s by the time it finishes. Kind of like One Piece, honestly. Like he's setting the world up to be something so massive and so huge, but unfortunately, like, his health's not allowing it, which is unfortunate. But Hunter x Hunter, masterpiece. More Attack on Titan, Fate, Attack on Titan. These are all going to be at the top of my list. Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, incredible. This was a movie, A Silent Voice. It's about this bully who is really mean to this girl who's deaf, and he comes back around later in life and just like is so sorry, and it's really an emotional movie. I really enjoy it. ReZero, just came out with season 3. Incredible isekai, probably the best isekai there is. It's kind of a it's similar to Steins Gate, and there's a time travel element where the main character keeps dying these brutal deaths, but he has the opportunity to go back and change the outcome, and it's an addicting show. It's so good. I don't know, I love shows like that where you can keep having the chance to redo it to make the ideal future. Maybe that's because I'm a disc golfer, and I think how much I'd like to go back in time and make putts that I've missed. Kimi no Nawa, this is Your Name. Incredible movie. That's really all I can say. Romance, that absolutely beautiful, incredible animation. I need to watch this again. It's been a while. I think I've watched it like 3 times, but great. Fate Stay Night, Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden, show that I originally didn't like, but now is one of my favorite shows. Really touching stories. Episode 10 of this series was one of the most... I cried like a baby after watching it. Yeah, it's about this military girl who got her arms blown off in battle, and she starts writing letters, who's basically turned off all of her emotions after writing letters for people who are illiterate or didn't know how to express themselves. She started to learn more and more about herself, and my gosh, it's a journey. It's a tearjerker of a show, but it makes you feel warm and cozy. Made in Abyss. This is incredible world building. I hope that the series gets finished. There is technically 2 seasons out with a movie that kind of covers like it kind of acts as like a season 2. So I guess you could almost say there's 3 seasons. Some of the coolest artwork, coolest world building. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's this big pit that these characters go to explore and get to the bottom of, but it's wild world building. So good. Pluto, so good. This was released last year onto Netflix, and it's like a dark spin off of, it's like a fan fiction of Naoki Urasawa, which is one of the most esteemed manga artists of all time. He created one of my favorite shows, and this is also another one of my favorite shows. But yeah, it's about the Astro Boy universe, and for those who don't know, Astro Boy is like one of the original anime. So if you look back, I think it came out in like the 60s or 70s, like super early on. Urasawa made this fan fiction of this like small little arc in the Astro Boy universe, but put his spin on it. He's like very well known for these murder mystery / detective style shows. It's so good. This is the Eagle Anime Podcast, essentially. Pluto, Made in Abyss. We're in familiar territory. Vinland Saga. There's so many good shows. Wow. Yeah, Vinland Saga. Whew. I like Vinland Saga because it's gritty. It's kind of like Berserk in a way. Season 1 has one of the best antagonists in all of anime. Thorfinn's character development is just incredible throughout the show. He's this happy kid who has this amazing dad, but he doesn't know that his dad was this crazy Viking who was just absolutely vicious. But after self-realization, his dad moved away, got away from this army of Vikings, found peace, but he needed to go back and like settle some business, and Thorfinn comes with him, and then Thorfinn loses his dad. And then he tries to avenge his dad, and that's how it all starts. His character development. This is so good, this show. Vinland Saga. And then season 2 is completely different, but just seeing how Thorfinn evolves. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. It's probably, this show, Vinland Saga, has probably had some of the more profound impacts on me of any shows in general, just because of how tenacious and angry Thorfinn was, but how he completely turns it around. It's very inspiring. It's an incredible. It's so hard to put like top 5. It's so hard to say, but this is so special of a show. more Violet Evergarden. The 4th season of My Hero was the best. Just incredible moments. 3rd season of Attack on Titan. Oh, it's so freaking good. This is the original Mushoku Tensei. So good. The final season of Attack on Titan was really good. The ending was a little bit weird. This is rumbling, yeah. Fruits Basket. When I say Guts is my favorite character, I think Toru Honda might be my second favorite character in all of anime. This is the Demon Slayer movie. This is total tearjerker. That's some peak anime right there. Main Abyss. This is the Main Abyss movie. Peak anime. Bleach. This is the new 1000-Year Blood War. This was the first season of the TYBW. Very, very, very good. Mushoku Tensei, Kimi no Yaiba. This was the Entertainment District arc. Yeah, this one had some of the best animation I've ever seen. I forgot to talk about Black Clover. Black Clover is very generic, typical anime tropes, but the characters are so good. Some of the better character building in anime, in my opinion. Like, you have so many characters and you don't feel like when you cut to certain characters that you're losing out on the story. I really love how vanilla and generic Asta's character is, but Asta, like some other characters like Naruto, I honestly put Asta in his own category of being one of the most inspiring characters of any anime. Like, I almost want to tear up when talking about it. Like, I watched it when I was recovering from surgery, and it got me like so. It put me in a good mindset. Oshinoko. This is a very, very good show. Very unique to anime. It's an isekai that's got a lot of weird twists and turns. God, this video is getting way too long, or else I'd talk more about it. I recently watched season 2. It's not like this. It's good for a different reason than, say, Vinland Saga. It's just like very interesting. It's not necessarily making me a better person watching it. Super solid. Solo Leveling. This one's really fun. It's a newer anime based off of a manhwa. It's about this total badass character who's kind of like an Asta, kind of like this pathetic character who just gets so strong, and you're just along for the ride. You're there for the jam. Here's the Dangers in My Heart, season 2. It's really solid. Oshinoko season 2, really solid. Okay, when I was talking about Pluto, we're in the 10 category. When I was talking about Pluto, same creator, Naoki Urasawa. My goodness, it's a longer show. The manga is incredible, I hear, as well. I watched the show. This might be the best show I've ever watched. This is right up there with Steins Gate. It might surpass Steins Gate. It's about this doctor, Tenma, who saves the life of this psychopath, Johan. And he doesn't know he's this psychopath to start off with, but I'd say, gosh, he saved it maybe when he's like 10 or 11 years old. Johan, that is. He finds out about this serial killer who he saved, and he takes it upon himself that, okay, I need to go avenge all the people's lives they've taken, because it's my fault that I saved his life. And it's just like, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And this is a top 3 show for me. Top 3, maybe it could be 1. Actually, this is a pretty good representation of my favorite shows. This is not a show, it's a movie. Spirited Away, my favorite movie of all time. Masterpiece, Studio Ghibli, in the same realm. I've watched it probably like 10 times, and it just takes you on a ride. It takes you on a ride, and it's every shot of the entire movie is completely captivating. It makes you feel, it kind of makes you cringe at certain times in the best possible way. I go through all my emotions watching Spirited Away. Steins Gate, talked at length about it. One of the best shows ever, but honestly, I think I'm putting Monster above it. Cyberpunk Edgerunners, I thought this was an absolute masterpiece of a show. I don't even play Cyberpunk, but it was based off of the video game Cyberpunk, kind of a prequel to what actually happens. And it's made by Studio Trigger, which also makes Gurren Lagann. It's just 10 episodes of high octane, completely captivating imagery. If this is not a show for kids, like, you definitely want to be a mature person, because there's some scenes in the show that I would not recommend for young eyes. But my gosh, if you're looking for a wild ride, this is it. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And then final, talked about Fruits Basket. 10 out of 10. Like, when you take the whole, the ending was 10 out of 10. I'd have a hard time putting it above like Steins Gate, but it's definitely top 4. All right, we're going to go to On Hold. It's One Piece. It's my favorite show of all time. I'm easily saying that. It's just something that, I mean, I'll take my whole basement is One Piece themed. I am a total One Piece dork, and I am proud to say it. I get disc dyes done of One Piece. I get One Piece shirts. I love the art style. Ichiro Oda is one of the most prolific creators of all time, and the universe he's created. It's crazy to say that there's 1,084 episodes and it still feels like you're getting started. There's so many unanswered questions, and the characters, like, I genuinely, this cheesy as it sounds, I feel like each one of the characters is one of my friends, and I care so much about that, the universe and just what's going on in the show. I don't watch One Piece all year. I'm taking 2 years off One Piece just so I can binge it all when it comes time. And it's so incredible. Like, I have so much, One Piece right here. It's everywhere. One Piece is my favorite show of all time, and I'll say that with pure confidence. All right, that's basically my list. Let me just, currently watching, I'm watching Bleach. I'm finishing up Danmachi. I'm watching Assassination Classroom. I'll tell you guys what I plan to watch. I'm watching Assassination Classroom right now. This is a new show on Netflix. Blue Lock, I believe, or no, what's this one called? Blue Box. That's one I'm going to watch. Bakemonogatari, I hear that's a really good one. More Bleach. Dandadan Season 2. I've watched Death Note. I need to rewatch it, but it kind of got spoiled for me, so I haven't really decided to watch it again. Dr. Stone, Dragon Ball Daima. It actually takes place right after the Boo arc, so I watched one episode of this and I'm considering watching it, but we'll see. There's other shows I want to watch more. I probably won't watch Fairy Tail. Original Full Metal Alchemist, more To Your Eternity. Gintama, I want to watch. I hear Gintama is like a really good show. I'm kind of saving this one because I know I'll really like it. A lot of it falls into like Japanese culture, so once I understand Japan a little bit more, and if I ever learn Japanese, then I feel like this will be the perfect shows to watch. Girls Band Cry, I hear that has some good reviews. Golden Kamuy, I hear it's wild. It's kind of like a combination between Vinland Saga and JoJo. What's this one? I forget. I don't even know what that one is. Haikyuu, it's volleyball. It's a good sports anime that I hope to watch at some point. Hajime no Ippo, I want to watch the remainder of Hajime no Ippo because it was really solid. The original Hunter x Hunter that's on the watch list. This is Eminence in Shadow Season 3. 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. This is Apothecary Diary Season 2. Kuzo no Honkai. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. It's probably a weird romance anime that I want to watch. Look Back. That's a movie that I hear is really good. Mashal Season 2. One Punch Man Season 3. This is Spice and Wolf. Paripi no Kome. This is the Soul Leveling Season 2. I'm really excited for that. Psychopaths. Third season of ReZero. Re-Life. Serial Experiments Lane. Link Click. Shirobako. Skip the Loafer. Slam Dunk. I've actually seen this show, A Place Further Than the Universe. It's really good, but I want to watch it again. It's kind of like, it's kind of about jumping off and doing something that you would never think of doing and liberating yourself in that way. Soul Eater, the first Slam Dunk. This is Tatami Galaxy, Oshinoko Season 3. The shows that I have dropped are Akame Get Kill. That was a little too gory for me. I've watched half of Akira, which is a classic movie. Charlotte, which was me. Dragon Ball Super, I watched like 3 episodes and I just couldn't do it, even though it seems cool. Maid Sama was just something that was too repetitive. Noragami, I talked a little about Sasaki and Miyano. That's a yaoi anime. And Eurocamp, which is cute, but it just was not doing it for me. And I believe that is it. I'll just show you my manga list because we're this far in. Manga, what did I complete? I've completed Berserk. I completed Berserk. That is it. I've read some Hunter x Hunter, but I just like, I'm waiting for the anime. I'm an anime guy. I have to really like the show to want to read the manga, and hence why I read Berserk. Completely worth it. But I hear Vagabond's really good. Real 20th Century Boys and 21st Century Boys are more creations of Naoki Urasawa, the guy who created Pluto and Monster, which I'm going to read at some point just because I'm a huge fan of his work, and I've heard that people just absolutely love this work. It's people say it's the best. It's one of the greatest manga stories of all time. So I plan to watch that, or I plan to read that at some point in my life. Holy freaking cow. This has been an hour and a half of me talking about anime. Wow. Am I still even recording? This is wild. For the people who like this, I think you love it. And I definitely did not retain very many people, but you know, this is for the weebs out there. This is for all the people who support me because I like anime, and I know that we have a lot in common, and this has just been a lot of fun to talk about. I'm glad that I can look back in my video archive and say that I talked about anime for an hour and a half, because it's something that you don't really talk about to a lot of people, but it truly is instrumental to how I perceive the world. It's where I get a lot of motivation from, and it's a big reason why I met my favorite person in the world, Ratana. Like, I slid into their DMs on Instagram because she liked anime. It's a way of life, and people will discount it. Fine, who cares? It's just something that I hold very dear to my heart. Hence why I'm making this video. I'm not afraid to share it. Not afraid to share it. Thank you guys so much for listening / watching. As you saw, I put a little disclaimer at the beginning of this video that you probably want to watch it podcast style. So, thank you so much for watching and listening. And until next time, keep on dreaming. Peace and be unlimited.